Howdy, Possum Patty here, and today I am gonna go simply mad crazy making my new Alice in Wonderland Mad Hatter's Tea Party Tea Tuesday Four Sisters Cafe journal. Come on along. In my Tea Tuesday video, I showed you how I take my little golden book journals apart. And at this point, what I usually do is take a piece of cardboard and make a spine. And then I put a piece of cardboard on the inside to strengthen, this little part where it bends, because I use the whole cover, because I don't like to fold the pages, so none of my pages are folded. Then I cover the inside and the outside. I use some Tyvek mailing envelope and usually some material or some paper. Then I gather up some stuff to make signatures. This one has wallpaper and scrapbooking paper and pages from the story. More scrapbooking paper. A box of cookies. Whatever, just gather up a bunch of junk, and this is like a big brochure in here that folds out. I didn't put too many pages in this one, but I did make 3 signatures, so this will fill up. It will become chunky, I guarantee you that. And now it's ready to journal, so I'm going to be journaling in the I Love You Grandma little golden book very shortly. Meanwhile, I'm starting more. So this one is going to be about tea and sisters. But I'm going to do something completely crazy. And I'm not going to do this. I am going to make my very first ring binder Alice in Wonderland, completely different kind of journal than I've ever made before. And there's a few people that are my inspiration for this. I've been hopping from Dolores J. Rush to Annie Claxton to Mary Flowers' channel, and all 3 of them have these crazy wild journals, and I'm going to do that in this journal. Completely different than what they're doing. Completely different, but the same, if you know what I mean. Inspired by, because they're not doing little golden book journals. So they're doing art doll journals. Well, Dolores and Annie are, and then Mary, she put her children's art in hers. So if you notice what is on the desk here, these are my ring binders, and what I've done is I've taken these little strips of fabric, and they are about a ½ inch wide and about 6 inches long. And I've tied a bunch on each of the rings. Now the reason I've never made a journal with the ring binders, now I know Heather C. has. Heather C. has a trashy with a, using these ring binders on it. Maybe I can link her channel below. Also, I will link Dolores and Annie and Mary and Heather below. And did you see what I did? I'm talking. All I did was tie it on the ring like that. That's all I did. I made 2 knots. And I tried to use a variety of fabrics. I wanted bright colors. And I added some of this netting that's got a little bit of sparkle to it. There's a little tiny bit of sparkle to it. And a lot of the strips are the same, but I tried to add a couple different ones in each ring just to, so it's not the same all the way down. And I know I have a lot of rings here. But I'm going to explain that. This is going to go all along the side of here. Now, the journal that I'm going to make, I said in the last video, I'm not using these pages. I'm going to make all new pages. And I think for this one, I'm going to punch the holes here. It already has a couple holes, so I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I'm going to think about this. I might cut this one Now most people do rip this part off and don't use this part. So this will be the very first little golden book junk journal that I do where I may rip this part off, and it'll be the first journal where I'm going to use these rings. So this is a completely different style for me. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun and colorful and very organic as we go along. So I have 6 of these. So I'm also was interested in, I was watching, yeah, I'm going to find these all over the place, I know it. Lizzi Brewer, Scrappin' Lizzi. Now she made a journal and she said that it was the, I can't remember now, Always Finished journal, because you just added the pages as you went along. So at any point in time you can pick up the journal and all the pages in the journal were done. And I think I'm going to do that. I also have this crazy material from, I think this is from the Dollar Tree, isn't it? Or Walmart, I don't know. I think I'm going to add this to the inside covers. And I'll probably just cut a couple pieces and glue it down. I'll show you how I do that. And then I am going to cut holes. And the pages are going to be made out of mixed media paper because I'm going to do a lot of sprays and painting and watercolors. I don't know, maybe acrylics and stamping and doodling and all over the pages. So it's going to kind of start off looking like an art journal, but then I'm going to put my tea bags in there and some sister adventures too. Now this is Grumbasher or Grumbache, I don't know. This is a pack that is special paper you can pull right out. And I was almost thinking of making this my journal, just putting like the cover on here. Just putting the cover like on there and then having these pages I can pull them in and out. But I changed my mind. So I think this does have a perforation like this. And each page is going to be different. And it's going to be made into organic shapes. These will be fun to keep, I'm sure. Oh, you know what? I could probably use this like on jelly plate printing as a mask. Very cool. So now the shapes of the pages. See, this paper is a little short, but that's okay. Yeah, see, I'm thinking on this one I am going to take off this part here. That part that bends right there. And then these will go here. But each page is going to have a completely sort of like organic shape like that. And I'm going to cut them out. And each page is going to be colored and painted separately. So I really did want to get back into doing some artsy kind of journaling. But you know, I love my junk journaling, so I think this might be a great way to do some painting and some coloring and some doodling. And I know I have other doodle books that I'm working on too. That's okay. You're allowed to start as many journals as you want to. And then I'm going to punch the holes. Now the reason why I made 6 rings, I'm not sure, I'm probably going to get them all on there, is because I want some of the pages to be smaller. And maybe some down here, some in the middle, some up there. So wherever I'm going to put a page, and no matter what size the page is, I want it to be in at least 2 rings so it doesn't flop around too much. So I'll explain that some more as I go along. So the first thing I am going to do, well, I already been working on this today. We're getting a nor'easter. This is the storm that has gone across the whole country. Mostly, I guess, snow and ice to the north and rain and tornadoes to the south and out west. But here in New England, we're along the shore right here, so we're just getting the warm side with a, bit of wind and some heavy rain. And up in the hills, northern Connecticut and up in New England, they are getting snow. So it was a good day to sit here and cut pieces of fabric. Although I did take my camera outside because I wanted to show you a little bit of what it looks like here at Soggy Bottom when it rains. Now it's not like this in the summertime, because when the trees have leaves, the leaves, the water goes up through the trees pull the water up. And they transpire out through the leaves. And when the trees don't have leaves and when the ground is frozen, the water basically, sits on top of the ground and takes a very long time to soak in or to evaporate. And I have a little area that is my rain garden, and that is very full of water. But there is sphagnum moss in the garden there, and the sphagnum moss do love the water. They love their wet feet. And that's why I call this place a bog, because sphagnum moss loves to grow in a bog. So you need sort of acidy soil and water sitting to have a bog. And that's definitely what I have. Oh, look, sparkles. Awesome. So the sparkles are coming off of the fabric, but I gotta stop playing with those. All right, so I have to get out some tools and some glue. Oh, and these rings are the 2-inch ring 6-pack that comes from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to throw that away, but I thought this might make a very cool shaker card with the shapes of these rings on there. That's going to have to go in one of the junk journals with a little bit of a shaker card. So I am cutting off this bendy section. See the little section here that bends? And it cuts pretty easy because it's, it's kinked there. Like that. So just cut that off. I didn't draw a line or anything. And where's the cover? Here's the cover. Yeah, so I had all the fabric out on the floor. Mr. Possum walked in. He said, "What's this mess?" I said, "I'm starting a new project." Like I really need to start a new project. So, yes, I really do need to start a new project. Okay, so that was easy. All right, I'm thinking about gluing this on the edge, but after I put the fabric down, getting that iconic gold foil back on here. Of course, that's upside down. It's upside down. I know it's ripped, but that's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We're not going to worry about that. We'll just piece it back together. And then I'm going to have to punch some holes. All right, so the fabric's got to go on first. I know I'm jumping all over the place here. I'm just so excited to start something new. I did finish a journal. Which journal did I finish? I have to turn around. I finished the October journal, and I finished the nature journaling journal, and I finished my gratitude journal. And I only have like about a dozen more pages in my monster Christmas in July, December daily journal. And then I'm working on finishing my Colors of Winter Little Golden Book journal. So, there's a rule. For every journal you finish, you get to start 2 more. 2 more. Yes, you do. That's the rule. You didn't know there were rules, did you? There are rules. For every journal you finish, you get to start 2 more. And this is something else I don't usually do, is cover up this part of the book. So this is my goal for 2022. It was something new in 22, right? So we have 23 is going to start very, very shortly. So 23 is going to be free. How's that? Free to create in 23. Free in 23. Does that rhyme? Free 3. Yes. Unless I can come up with something better. Okay, I'm using Elmer's Craft Bond Extra Strength, which I've always had good luck with material. But leave nothing to the fates. I will put a little tacky glue around the edge. And when you get a nice layer of that glue stick on there, you don't have to iron your material because usually it comes out really nicely. And if it's wrinkled, that's okay too. It's okay. I'm wrinkled. So everything I do can be wrinkled too. I got thread, I got material. So I'm going to put a little tacky glue around the edge. And I know it's not Tea Tuesday, and this is my Tea Tuesday journal, but I would like to get the actual construction of the journal completed before the next Tuesday, and boy, time goes by so fast. So that when Tea Tuesday rolls around, I can actually do some journaling. So that is my goal. So this crease here might not come out, or it might. Look at that. Look at that, look at that. That crease just disappeared. Love it. And I know you can see what the inside of the cover looks like there through the white spaces, and that's okay because we know it's a little golden book. And little golden book inside covers have traditional designs on them. So I have the material glued down on the inside. And I went ahead and glued some of that gold foil. I had one strip was from this book and one strip was from another book. And now the size has changed a little bit because I took off that little strip, which is here. So now this is 6 by 8 inches. And then I took a piece of paper, which is here, which is 6 inches, and I folded it in half and then in half again. And then I open it up, so now I have these 3 lines here. So this would be the middle, and then this would be 1/4 and 1/4. And I made the marks to punch the holes and 1/2 inch each side from where this division is. So like these are an inch apart, these are an inch apart, and these are an inch apart. And these little dots are 1/2 inch in, which means they will be the center of the hole. So let's see how that lines up. Should I do it from the top, the bottom? Okay, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to use my crocodile right now. I got some cardboard in there. I was looking to see if it would work on the cardboard, and it does. So I'm going to put that dot right in the middle, and then I'm going to use that to mark where I want to make my holes. I'm working intuitively. I think this is really going to be a fun. Free and creatively free. What can we call it? We'll come up with something. Creatively free and 23. So I'm going to put 6 on there like that. That way I can have a small one in the middle, or a small one at the top, or a small one at the bottom. Or I can have medium size with 3 holes, or 3 holes, or 3 holes, or 3 holes. Doesn't matter. And this is marked in from this side. So this is the edge. So that goes on the edge. We line that up with the edge. And that's going to be right on the foil. So I probably need a marker or something. Line this up again. I'm going to get my head up here under the camera. I should just stand up. So we're going to do one there, one there, and one there. If it's not perfect, that's fine. Okay. Now let's see if this works. I don't know if this is going to get through that foil, but, you know, we shall see. Oh, you know what? Let's do it on the back one first. I always do this. I always grab the front one first and then wish I had grabbed the back one. Because the back one can be like the experimental one. And the front one could be the second go round, because maybe it'll come out a little bit better with some practice. I guess this whole journal is going to be like a practice. Okay, here we go, fingers crossed. I'm going to stand up. Try and get that in the center and punch. I don't want to get it clogged up. There we go. There's one. I can't see, it's clogged up. Stand by. Well, I was just going to come on here and say the holes came out pretty good, but I can see that this last hole is like way off. Now, how did that get off so far? So far off. How did that get off so far off? I don't know. But I think we have to live with it once it's there. And I'm putting these little grommets in, trying to, anyway. Ooh. Okay. Did I go in? No, this last one's not going for me for some reason. Of course, I did all the other ones off camera, and they were just absolutely just fine. Just the one you try to do on camera is crooked, off center, and won't work. Okay, so far, so good. I think this will work. Now, this is my favorite part. I love these. Look at these. Aren't these wonderful? So it doesn't matter what order they're in. I'm just going to put these on here so you can see. What it's going to look like. And then I'll work on the page, and I'll put the page in there. So you can use smaller rings or larger rings. These just happen to be the rings that I had on hand. I'm sorry, but I gotta put this down on my lap to get that on like that. And then it won't really open flat because that's a really big ring. But that's okay because we're not actually working in the book. We're doing the pages and putting the pages in the book. So I don't think that's going to be too much of a problem. So let me just go ahead and put all these rings on. So I've gone from really not liking the look of the big rings at all to just absolutely loving this. And I could put smaller rings in here. It wouldn't be much trouble to move the little tassels there, but you know, it's a floater. Look at that. Ooh. But like I said, I'm not actually going to be working like here. So that is not a problem. The pages will come out to be worked on. And then this will just be on display with the pages like that. And I'll be able to put a lot of pages in here. And I'll probably just display it, you know, open like that. This is going to be a real art installation.